Okay, so today is half marathon day, and a little bit nervous. Oh god, I'm nervous. But I'm running in about 2 hours, and it's not the first half marathon I've done, so I know I can do the distance, but it's the first like proper actual half marathon, so it's a little bit frightening. So yeah, apparently I'm a runner now. I mean, it's not really something I've enjoyed. You know, cardio is meant to be good for you. Good morning. Right, so half marathon is done, and fair to say it was a bit of a struggle.
Look at this dude. No.
But as bad as it was in the moment, I was actually fairly happy with the result I ended up getting. So in my training last week, I ran a half marathon just to prove to myself that I could do it. So this week when I came to it, I knew that I could do it. And I think the crowd played a big part in it, because when I actually came to running the official half, I ended up doing a 30-minute PR. So that was probably best case scenario. And actually looking back at my splits for my run, I ended up getting pretty quick towards the end of the run. And my last kilometre was my fastest, running at 4:40 per kilometre, which was never something that I intended to go for at the beginning. My final time for the half marathon was right there. So I was actually running the half marathon for a foundation called the Barnaby Webber Foundation. So back in 2023 in Nottingham, there was a terrible stabbing that took place and 3 people were killed, one of which I actually went to school with. So anyway, without being too depressing at the beginning of this video, I'll leave the link to go donate if you want to. We were aiming to try and raise £1,000. I think we're nearly there. Obviously no pressure to donate, but the link is there in the description if you want to. Right, anyway, back to the video. So I'm currently up in Birmingham because I had some videography stuff to do. But today I actually need to drive home because I've got a few things planned in order to get this spec ad done. I've actually also got a call planned with a guy called Shema. I'll pull up his Instagram page here. This guy right here. I'll leave his Instagram tag down below. Go drop him a follow if you're not already following him. So obviously as he runs his own production company, he was kind enough to offer to answer any of my questions. So I've got that tomorrow, but obviously I'm gonna film it. I need to get in my car because I need to get home now. So this is usually the interesting bit of the video where I'd insert a cinematic car driving clip bit, but I've lost my car mount, so that's not happening. So oh, is that a tractor? We are home. Time to get to work. Monday. So whilst I was up in Birmingham, I bought myself a little something that apparently is meant to bring you good luck. So here it is. It's a St. Christopher's necklace, and apparently this is meant to bring you good luck. So I've decided I'm going to wear this until such time that I have achieved what I want to achieve with my filmmaking business. So yeah, hopefully it works and brings some good luck. But for now, I've got to jump on this call. So I'll let you know what advice I get after that. Okay, awesome. How you doing? At the moment, I just want to get started. I don't know whether it would be better just to focus on one thing or just go broad for the beginning or in a bit then. Bye. Okay, so that was actually incredibly useful. So in terms of what I'm going to be focusing on in the near future, it hasn't really changed. It's still going to be portfolio all the way, try and make that the best I possibly can so that I can outreach and get the best possible chance when I go to outreach. But what was interesting was he did enlighten me to a few things. First of all, even more than what I already thought, were the importance of connections and how connections can actually bring all manner of jobs, not just working for your own business. There's also potential to get experience doing editing, working on other film crews, etc., which is something I didn't really even think about. So obviously that just reinforces how important connections are going to be. I also learned from it that I should probably be outreaching now, regardless of having a portfolio, because there isn't really anything to lose by actually reaching out now, regardless of whether I have a portfolio or not. All it means is the likelihood of me actually getting that client is probably a little bit lower. It's never zero, so I may as well try and reach out without the portfolio. And the other big takeaway was essentially he highlighted the importance of actually having a mentor and having someone that has done what you're trying to do, and so that you can take information from and actually get some help from, because people can go out and try and do stuff for themselves and they can do it without any prior experience. But the chances of them actually being successful from that, without having any knowledge of what they should be doing, what they should be looking for, it just makes the job a whole lot harder. So I did have a think about that, and I now have a new mentor. I just think it's something that's going to be really beneficial, especially as I go a bit further down the line. When I start doing outreach and start trying to get clients, that's where I'm really going to need the help, and that's where it's really going to come in handy. So I do think that's a good decision and something that's really going to come in handy in the next month or so. And not to mention, again, it's adding to my contacts, building that portfolio of people. So yeah, overall, productive call, and we're in a good place. So look at this. So this here is what... Yeah. So this here is my plan for my first spec ad. It's not completely done. The only thing I have left is my... Anyway, it's not completely done. The only thing I actually have left is the storyboard. I haven't really been rushing this because I knew I couldn't film it till the end of May anyway. So it's sort of just been slow progress with this. But I'll show you what I've done so far. So we've got the basic idea, which is to show the cycle of persistence of an athlete right here. And then underneath it, I've done a brief sort of an outline of what different sort of locations we're going to need and what sort of talent we're going to need. Then we've got the target audience, the key message behind the ad, so what we're trying to show by creating this ad. Then we've got the tone and style, what sort of emotion are we trying to portray through this ad. The medium format, so it's going to be roughly 3 to 4 minutes long. Obviously it's just a spec ad, so it doesn't really matter. And then obviously the timeline, so I'm planning to shoot it on the 26th of May, edit it over the 27th to the 29th. And finally, I've just got a few reference images for what we're going for. But that is just also as a bit more of an idea of what we're actually going for when it comes to shooting. So like I said, I'm not actually going to be able to shoot this ad until the end of May, so that means it won't be being shot next week, but it will be shot the week after that. I mean, I'm going to have to find something for next week, but I think the plan should be maybe to plan out maybe 3 or 4 actual spec ads in total, so that when it comes to actually being able to shoot them, I can just do that, and I've got all the plans ready, so it doesn't involve any planning. That just means it's going to be so much more efficient, and we can get to the actual good stuff after the portfolio once that's done. So yeah, it's slightly slow progress to begin with, but I'm sure it's going to pick up as the weeks go on. And once that portfolio is done, that is when we can really try and start looking for clients, actually getting some work, getting some real, more exciting content for these videos. But as of now, we've got everything on the right track. The plan's coming together. We've got a date for the spec ad filming. So it's honestly just a matter of time.